Hi everyone, welcome back. So today we are going to see how we can host an application on EC2 instance, and also we are going to see how we can use two or more services running in a single EC2 instance and how they communicate with each other and then produce output. So after seeing this video, you will be comfortable of using EC2. So if you have a beginner application, or if you have an application where you need to use two or three or more services and you do not want to spend your money like hosting it on different EC2 instances, that way you can save a lot of money. Okay, for a beginner, if you want to scale up, then you just need to buy a lot of EC2 instance. But for like a beginner level project, you can if you have a beginner level project where you need to host many services, then you can follow this tutorial. So what I'm going to do is, first I'll go to start.spring.io and I'll generate a project. What happened to my internet? Okay, so I'll generate a normal project for, so let's say web Spring Reactive Web. You can use this newer version of web dependency, so Spring Webflux. And for another instance, I'm going to use AMQP. Okay, so I'm going to use an AMQP server. So for this I'll be using, I think, rabbitMQ. So let us see the dependencies are right. This is right, this is right. Okay, hopefully everything is right. So let me give the artifact name as test YTB. Okay, everything is right. Okay, I'm going to generate it inside the home dev YTB folder. Then you can just extract it. So the files. Okay, so I'm going to open a terminal here and VS Code, because that is my editor of choice and I love it. Okay, I should have opened it inside the folder. I'm going to go inside the folder and then open VS Code. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a controller. So let's say test controller.java. Okay, why did the package name did not come? Okay, and I'll make this as a REST controller. Oh, the dependencies are loading right now, you can see, for that reason. Okay, it came, and I'm going to create a get mapping for slash. It will just return you can just return a string here. Okay, and I don't need all these things, and you can just pass here I'm up here. Okay, in a reactive, in a Spring in a reactive application, you should not do this. You should probably use mono, and then you can just wrap it inside a mono.just, and then like this. Okay, so this is a better way of doing, but yeah. So after this, I want to run the rabbitMQ server, because I want my Spring application to connect with the rabbitMQ server and then produce some result, or like you can use it for anything. I'm just going to test it right now. Okay, so I'm going to run a rabbitMQ server in a Docker container. So I have Docker installed. If you don't have Docker installed, then you can just install the rabbitMQ by going through its documentation. But as I have Docker installed, so I'm going to use a Docker image. So I'm going to run it, docker run --rm, the hostname. Okay, it shows me the command. Okay, the server is started. To connect it to my Spring application, what I need to do is I need to provide some properties in my application.properties. So I'm going to say the Spring rabbitMQ address, so 000.5671. This is the default port number. If you change it, then you have to change it here also. And I'm just going to set the exchange as null or empty string right now. Okay, now I'm going to create another controller that will just check if my rabbitMQ server is connected or not. Okay, so in the same way I can return mono of boolean. Okay, I can just say rabbit status. I don't want to take any request param, and not mono, not like this, dot just. And to communicate with the Spring, to communicate with the rabbitMQ server, you need you don't need it, but I'm going to use it for testing. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use rabbitadmin. Okay, and using a simple command, I'll just see if it is up. So if our application is connected to the rabbitMQ server, then it should produce some result. Okay, so get queue information. I'm just passing any random queue. Okay, random queue. Okay, so I'm checking if using rabbitMQ admin you can test various things, but right now using the get queue info method, I'm going to test if a queue named random queue is alive. Is it alive on the rabbitMQ server or not? Obviously it is going to return false. So sorry, if the queue is not present, or if it is not alive in the rabbitMQ servers, then it is going to return null. Okay, so I'm going to say false, and if it is alive, then it is not going to return false, it will return the queue information. So for that I'm going to just return true. Okay, I hope it works. Let me run the server. I'm going into the terminal, and then I'll just run mvn spring boot run. Okay, let us see. Oh, what it says? Consider defining a bean name rabbitadmin. Okay, I think I missed out the configuration file, so I'll create a configuration file, or should I just write it here? I'll just create a bean inside the main application, and it will return a rabbit admin. Okay, you can name it anything, get admin or something, and it takes a connection factory, I think. Yes, it takes a connection factory, and then you can just return new rabbit admin with the connection factory in here. Why is it wrong here? Oh, I think the dependency is wrong. Hopefully it is wrong. Connection factory, I think. Okay, this one was correct. Okay, now let us run the application once again. It is booting up and it's up, I think. Okay, then we can go to localhost 8080. I'm up here. Now let us check if it is connected to the rabbitMQ server or not. So you can see if I go for awake, it says false. Okay, so how would you know like if it is awake or not? So like you can see the Docker is running right now. If I do docker ps, it is running. Okay, if I stop the container, so let's say if I stop the running container, okay, and now if I go to this URL and refresh, it will give me some error. Okay, and you can see in the console also we are getting error which says it will be, I think, connection rejection or something. Yeah, AMP connection exception. Okay, so if the application is not connected to the rabbitMQ server, then you will get this error. But if it is connected, then you would probably get false if the queue is not there. And I'm not creating the queue, so it is not there. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to deploy this application in a EC2 instance. I'll just close this, and what I could do is I could just create a jar file of this. Okay, so I'll just go clean install and it will create a jar file. Hopefully, yeah, a jar. Okay, jar file is created. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to the EC2 dashboard. You can just search here EC2 and then go to the first link EC2. You'll land up here, and then you can just go to launch instance. So if you know about Ubuntu or Linux, don't be smart and don't choose this Ubuntu server if you know about how to configure the networks and all. Otherwise, if you are a beginner like me, please don't choose this. I wasted around 1 to 2 hours figuring out a lot of stuff here, but it did not work. So I would advise choosing the first link. The Linux wasn't provided by the Amazon itself, so we are going to choose that, and keep in mind to choose this t2.micro that you can use for free in your free trial. And then I'm going to just review and launch. Okay, what is save? Just back off and launch. Okay, and you also need to generate a key pair. Why is this needed? This is needed in order to SSH into your EC2 instance from your terminal, or if you're using Windows, you can use PuTTY. So key pair name. So I'll say test YTB, and then download the key pair. I'm going to download it here, and then just launch the instance. It will require a few minutes. You can go to the view instance and see that it is pending right now. Okay, now you can see the EC2 instance is up and running. So what I can do is first of all, let me SSH into this EC2 instance. So to SSH into it, what I'm going to do is, okay, I'll click here connect, and you can get the information about how you can connect to this instance. I'll copy this command. If you're in Linux, then what you're going to do is you downloaded this .pem file, and then you have to change the permissions given to the PEM files, and then you can use this command to SSH into it. Okay, yes, track me. Okay, that's nice. Now what you have to do is you have to install to run the jar application. To run the jar, you need to install Java into your EC2 instance. First of all, I'm just going to do sudo apt update sudo command not found. Okay, it's sudo yum update. I think it's a different distro. It's like Fedora or something. Okay, and we are going to search how to install OpenJDK 11 using yum. So yum is a package manager, so we are going to use that. Or let us search how to install it on EC2. Someone in here says I think this will work. Okay, and also what we are going to do is we have to import our jar into the EC2 instance. You can do it any way you like, but I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go to the S3 bucket. Open up, man. In the S3 bucket, I'm going to open any bucket that is available. So just any bucket, and then I'll just drag and drop the jar file that is in the target test target. Where is the jar? Okay, this one. I'm just going to drag and drop here. Is it working? Okay, in progress. So once it's uploaded, we are going to get a link using which we can just simply download the thing. Okay, now as you see, the upload is done. Let us not open this jar, but go back. Okay, in our bucket, we'll go to jar. If you see if it's accessible or not. Okay, let me give it read permission for public access, save changes, and then just copy this link and check if it is downloadable or not. Yeah, that works. So what we are going to do is we are going to use wget and then paste the link, hit enter. The jar file is getting downloaded. We also have to install Docker into this EC2 instance. For that what we can do is, can we just do sudo yum install Docker? Oh, that works. Okay, that works. Okay, now first of all, let us run our Java jar. Before running that, if you have to access it from the browser from our IP address, so we have to open a port through which we can just connect to that EC2 instance. So I'm going to go into the instance, and then in the security, select this inside the security, you go to the security groups and you have to add inbound rules here. So I'm going to say custom TCP. Our application is running on port 8080 and I want to allow anywhere, but if you are using it for production level, then you have to map your IP and all that stuff. But yeah, save these rules. Okay, now let us run our jar file. We can use the command java-jar test ytb snapshot.jar, and our application should be up. Okay, the application is running. To access the application from the browser, what we have to do is we have to find where is the public IP of the instance. So you can see this is the public IP. Let us go to this URL. It will not work. We have to go to this URL and 8080, sorry, port number 8080. It should work. Okay, it's running. Okay, it should also work. Why is it not working? Colon 8080. Yeah, that's working too. Okay, now if you go to the awake endpoint, then it will throw us an error because we are not running the the Redis instance over here. So for that, what we are going to do is, first we got to start the Redis instance. I'm going to just copy the command from here, the command that we used to run. Okay, I'm going to copy it and paste it here. Okay, so the Docker daemon is not running. What I can do is I can check whether it is running or not by using the command systemctl, and I think it is status of Docker or something. Yeah, so we can see it is not running. For starting the Docker daemon, we have to say Docker is not started. Let us check start Docker daemon. Okay, so this is the command. Let us just copy and paste. Okay, now it is running. Now let us again run our Docker container, the Redis server in the Docker container. Okay, it is pulling the image. Let us see how long does it takes. Untangle not found. Oh, we copied the wrong command. This net is not required. Okay, I'll post all. I'll just add this comment. I'll add this commands in the description so you can copy it from there. But if you know Docker, then these commands are not a big deal for you. Okay, so that's done. Now again start our Java jar test YTB stuff. It's up. It's not okay. After that, if we go again to our /awake route, let's see. Now we can see that we are getting false. So that means that our Spring application is connected to a Docker, to a service running in a Docker container, which is running inside the EC2 instance. Like in a production level, you would not do this. You would not run the jar simply using Java jar. but I think you have to use something called no hop or something to run it in the background. I'm not remembering the name, or it is, I think, no hop or something. I think it is no hop. Let us see if it is working or not. Ignoring input and pending output to no hop dot output. There is some command, you can just Google it and figure out why. But yes, so that was about how you can run any application. So I used a Spring application to as a demo here, but you can use like a Node application or a PHP application or anything that connects to the internet. So you can use any application, and in this way you can and I also used Docker to run my rabbitMQ server, but it's not necessary. You can run the rabbitMQ server. You can just install the rabbitMQ and then run it locally and then do all that stuff. Okay, so but using Docker is I think is a pretty convenient way to do this stuff, and also you need to keep in mind that I did this to save money as a beginner. Okay, so if you have a project that has that you want to use in your resume, but also want to host it, and you don't want to waste a lot of money spinning up 3 or 4 like EC2 instances, so you can use this method. It is pretty cheap here. I think if you do it like this, it would not cost a lot of money if you do not have a lot of traffic. Okay, so like if you're developing it for resume, I don't think you would have traffic, so that would do. But yeah, this is capable of like if you increase the allotted RAM and CPU and all that, then you can just pretty much use this for, I think, 10,000 users, 10 to 20,000 users, and it should work probably fine. So EC2s like Amazon EC2s are very powerful machines, so you can use them. So that was about it. If you want to host an application and that you have put up in your resume, this is a perfect way of hosting your backend. So I hope you learned something from here, and let's hope for the best. Bye bye.